Updating EG4 battery firmware used to feel intimidating. Now it takes just one adapter, one cable, and just a few minutes, if you do it the right way. Firmware updates help improve communication, reliability, and long-term performance, and with the EG4 battery firmware adapter, the process is now simple and repeatable. In this video, I'll show you how to update firmware on the EG4 wall mount all-weather 280 amp-hour and the EG4 wall mount indoor 280 amp-hour batteries. The steps are nearly identical for both models, and the key is selecting the correct firmware file and the correct port. We'll keep this short, precise, and easy to follow. Let's get started. Start by heading to EG4electronics.com. Navigate to Batteries, then select the exact wall mount battery model you're updating. Scroll down to the Firmware section, download the latest firmware file, and extract the zip file to a location that's easy to access. Only download firmware for one battery model at a time. If both RS485 and RS232 files are provided for that model, download both. Using the USB-A to USB-C cable that comes in the box, plug the EG4 battery firmware adapter into your computer. When the adapter appears as a removable drive, copy both firmware files into the adapters folder. Safely eject the adapter once the files are transferred. Only firmware files for one battery type should be on the adapter. Power the battery off using both the circuit breaker and the BMS power switch. Disconnect all inter-battery communication cables and remove the inverter communication cable if present. Using the RJ45 communication cable included with the adapter, connect the firmware adapter to the battery. RS485 update connects to the RS485 port and uses a bin file. BATCOM update connects to the battery COM port and uses a hex file. Both wall mount 280 amp-hour batteries follow this same rule. Provide 5-volt power to the firmware adapter using the USB cable. This can be done using a portable power bank, a laptop, or any other 5-volt source. On the adapter, press Select to wake the device. Since we're connected to the RS485 port, press Select again to choose RS485. Press Update to begin. Once the update light starts flashing, turn the battery BMS back on. Green lights will flash while the update is in progress. When the update completes, you'll see the success light flash twice, then stay solid green. Next, we'll perform the RS232 update following the same general process. Start by turning the battery BMS off. Move the RJ45 communication cable from the RS485 port to one of the BATCOM ports. On the firmware adapter, press Select to choose BATCOM. Press Update to begin. Then, once again, press to turn on the BMS with the power button. Green lights will flash while the update is in progress. When the update completes, you'll see the success light illuminate. Repeat this process one battery at a time if you're updating multiple batteries of the same model. Before updating a different battery model, delete the existing firmware files from the adapter and load the correct files for the new battery, then go through the same process. The EG4 battery firmware adapter takes the guesswork out of battery firmware updates and makes long-term system maintenance simple. You can find EG4 batteries, the firmware adapter, and everything to support your system at signaturesolar.com. I'm Kelly with Signature Solar, empowering you to own your own power. We'll see you next time.